Welcome to another episode of me watching a bunch of random movies and telling you all about it. Just to be clear, I review pretty much the entirety of the movie in these types of videos. So far it's been mostly animated movies that I've been reviewing. Jasmine, what are you, 12? Why are you still watching cartoons? Because I can. Cartoons and animated movies are just often more entertaining depending on my mood. It's either this or Law & Order SVU and Forensic Files. Law & Order SVU has over 500 episodes. By now I should have a degree in Law & Order watching. I have probably seen every episode over the years, and many of them multiple times. I could hear the Law & Order theme song from a TV in the other room as I was writing the script for this video. Coincidence? I think not. So the movie we're talking about today, it is originally in French, but it took me a little while to notice that the characters' mouths were not in sync with the audio. It's not extremely noticeable, and the actors that they chose for the English version did a pretty good job. From the studios of TAT Productions, I present to you Terra Willy Unexplored Planet, aka Astro Kid. It has two titles if you search for it on Google. Astro Kid was released in 2019. So this is a computer animated movie, and I must say I think we found another animated gem. I will always and forever look at the details of a movie, whether it's 2D or 3D animation. Terra Willy was made using a program called 3ds Max, and there was a team of about 70 people according to Wikipedia. So 3ds Max is a professional computer graphics program. It's owned by a company called Autodesk, which I'm a little bit familiar with. I have a sketchbook app of theirs and I quite like it. It's pretty easy to use. I've had it for about a decade now. I use it here and there for designing like my purses that I make out of resin. I've used it just to jot down little ideas that I have for drawings that I want to do later. I find it very useful, even for me who's digitally artistically stunted. So 3ds Max has, quote, flexible plugin architecture, and it has to be used on the Microsoft Windows platform. This software is often used by game developers, TV commercial studios, and architectural visualization studios. So examining the scenery and the characters in animated movies such as this one, it allows me to see the fine details. So as many of you know, I am an artist and I specialize in drawing things realistically. I am a traditional artist. I really don't do a lot of digital work. My ultimate goal in my work is to make it look as close to a photo as possible. I feel like that's a valuable part of the process. So while doing research on this movie after watching it, I found out there is actually proprietary animation software and there's open source animation software. I don't know a lot of the technical stuff that goes into animation, but it's fun to learn stuff every once in a while. The movie starts out with a kid named Willy. Now he's on a spaceship with his parents who are also scientists. They're probably on this journey for a year or so. I did not catch that part. So just imagine a WALL-E situation, only these people are able to return to Earth and the people aren't 500 pounds. And it's a single family in space, not an entire civilization. I love that movie. That's one of my favorite animated movies ever. The main character is accustomed to having everything done for him, but the plot of this is completely different. There is a robot trying to sustain the life of humans. That is a similar theme, I guess. The animation in this movie is quite good. I was so impressed.
Game interrupted by unknown player.
Yeah, especially that.
Didn't I tell you not to touch stuff? Man, it's like talking to my cats. The number of times a day I tell them not to touch things. It's very easy on the eyes to watch when the animation is so fluid and colorful and amazing.
Here, drink this.
Astro Kid had a budget of about $6.4 million in US dollars.
The shield just gave out. Security protocol has been activated.
No! Open the door!
There's nothing we can do, Willy. It's locked. I'm sorry.
So by this time in the movie, I am claustrophobic. The door is closed. My will to live has dissipated.
Oh no! Come back!
This movie is more of an adventure with comedy here and there, and it works. You can sense some of the peril that Willy encounters. And this, my friends, it's adulthood. Adulthood is just an unexplored planet.
Where am I?
Constant confusion. The robot is your parent that you still have to rely on to survive in this cruel, unforgiving world. I just made all of this up. I don't think it's a metaphor for anything. So this film does center around the idea of teamwork. One entity cannot survive without the other. Because Willy is only 10, this presents quite the challenge for this character. How is he gonna make it? His 10-year-old knowledge can only get him so far. He's got the food supply, the all-knowing robot,
No idea.
and the cool sci-fi Swiss Army knife. They did a great job animating the hair. That is one of the things that I really pay attention to in movies. It's how on earth do they animate the hair? I can sometimes tell that hair is a challenge or it just wasn't in the budget. Weren't expecting that, were ya? Living scenery.
Remain calm, Mr. William. Sometimes the biggest creatures are not always the dangerous ones.
Spoiler. These creatures never become their friends.
Sometimes they are.
They are consistently volatile. Man, babysitting is dangerous. The environments that they created for this movie are astounding. I'm an artist and I pay attention to these things. Throughout the movie, Buck the robot tries to conserve his battery, so his job is to make sure that the transmitter is constantly transmitting so that Willy's parents can recover Willy once they get his location from one of the satellites or one of the probes in space. It's a race against time as he searches for food and shelter for Willy. Willy is entirely dependent on Buck at this point in the movie. Okay, so do you want to explore? Do you even want to live long enough to do that? I think the creatures that they developed for this movie are so fun to watch. They are so visually stunning. See, I can't get over how this planet looks. Now we have our second encounter with an unsavory creature.
Mr. William, you were to wait for me in the clearing without moving or touching anything.
So he's not great at following instructions. We've established that.
This is a nice catch. It is absolutely edible.
We're not gonna eat him. It's my faithful companion. But you can call him Flash if you prefer.
Great, now you have 2 mouths to feed. We're all gonna die.
What a boring day. I didn't even get a single creature.
Boring where? You almost lost your life several times today. Jeez, these kids today, nothing is ever enough.
Mr. Williams' safety. Okay.
So throughout the movie, we see how Buck's battery life further depletes, and that signifies the urgency of finding shelter. But also the need to go back and get the battery pack that they had to leave behind. This is probably one of the most recognizable creatures, a giant beetle. It's the size of a building.
Analysis? Okay. No toxic substance detected.
Aw, Flash is back. What a good space caterpillar dog. And now we get to explore what's edible.
Back. It burns.
What could go wrong? 50% chance of dying with every bite.
Is everything all right, Mr. William?
No, we've been on this planet for several days now, and there's still no news from my parents.
But we still haven't found any safe food. Focus on the mission.
Displays of affection may improve the subject's emotional state.
This robot reads body language better than most podcast bros. If Take a Hint was a robot, that would be him. Once again, Willy wanders off and gets himself into a fiasco.
Oh no! There you go.
When are we getting a water park like this?
I have been looking all over for you.
Just wanted to have some fun.
Nothing bad happened yet.
I must know where you are at all times.
Ouch! It stings!
If you just quit touching stuff, it's exactly me talking to my cats. Can you just stop touching things is a phrase that I use about 42 times a day. Flash, flash, 100-yard dash. Aw, Flash, he's so cute. Well, you made it safely through another night. Look at you, surviving out in the wild like a feral child. At least there's a lot to do. Dude, I forgot about this scene. Dudes being bros, peeing simultaneously. It's literally impossible to be bored. Finally, they're building housing. Necessity is the mother of invention.
What a chicken.
I don't think you're gonna like this rain. It's not your average peaceful summer rain. See, the animators, they could have made rain the regular way. But no, they chose to make probably the most dangerous type of storm, where you're in danger of getting a concussion.
I have to switch to power saving mode.
Now, if we could just get to that battery pack.
Goodbye for now, Mr. William.
Everything is dependent upon William recovering the backup battery for Buck. Without that, Buck's battery will deplete, therefore stopping the transmitter. This is exactly what being an adult is like. Every time you turn around at something. Something keeps happening. What's next? More things? Nature saved the day. Aw, you go, nature. Fear it. Respect it. This movie takes place over a 10-month period, forced to grow up in such a short span of time. Flash is the size of a horse and Willy looks like the son of Tarzan. His agility has vastly improved.
You're welcome.
We observe how Willy makes it out in the wild, surviving on what he hunts for and caring for a pet.
We got it? Come on, high five.
And that's how you properly high-five a dog.
A pro?
There's hope for you now.
This means someone is really coming. Huh? It's completely empty.
Except you still haven't gotten Buck's battery pack, so you know he's dead. It's time! Call in the reinforcements. What's wrong? What are you whining for? That's across the street. That's not- no, that's the neighbor. Oh, this again? Okay, can you stop? No one's here. Go sit down. Nothing is happening. No barking. Go sit down. What's wrong? Here's Buddy. He hears a noise outside, so now he has to sit in my lap. Here's the Chiweenie. Once again, Willy's risking his life. I actually quite like the musical score for this movie as well. It very much reminds me of the How to Train Your Dragon songs in some of the scenes. It's really dramatic. Willy has done a great job of using his resources. With every movie review, I tend to bring up the Rotten Tomatoes rating scores because I can. Movie reviews have no use most of the time, at least with me. They're all based entirely on someone's views, so every single review is subjective, just like the reviews I do. But I feel like I go into a little bit more detail as I'm reviewing the entire movie. A movie can have the best ratings on planet Earth, and literally nothing will persuade me to see it. Ratings still mean nothing to me personally. That being said, after I watched this movie yet again, while doing research, I got curious to see what it was rated. After I see a movie for the first time, especially the ones I review, I will then look up the reviews just to be nosy. Lo and behold, Astro Kid has a 100% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes. I find it surprising since many of the Rotten Tomatoes critics are quite brutal when it comes to kids and animated movies. Even though it's all adults doing the ratings, adults and kids don't generally find the same things funny or entertaining. Do people even decide to watch or not watch movies based on that? I feel like it's just a thing that movie commercials just use to hype it up if it has a score higher than 90%. But lots of people like the low-rated movies, and a lot of the average rated ones do extremely well in the box office because people like different things. The animation and the color grading is absolutely fantastic. Nighttime scenes are full of cooler toned purples and blues, so the scenes with the rock monsters are warmer toned and the audience gets the feeling that the environment is very warm and sunny and dry and not a drop of water in sight. Buck is back, fully charged and ready to pick up where he left off.
Mr. William, is that you?
Your rescue request has been processed.
Now we're all gonna be saved.
An automatic retrieval pod will arrive in less than 24 hours.
I really thought Willy was gonna take Flash with him. This was not the ending that I was expecting.
I believe it is time to say goodbye, Mr. William.
This is like the Goodbye and How to Train Your Dragon, except I don't know if there's gonna be a sequel, because this is not the ending that I wanted. Good ol' home ship. Final thoughts. I think this movie would have been phenomenal as a 3D movie in theaters. Imagine the surround sound and the creatures so realistic looking, like they're going to actually chase you. It would be such an experience if they didn't do that already. I strongly recommend watching this. It very much reminds me of Ron's Gone Wrong mixed with WALL-E, mixed with How to Train Your Dragon. So if you liked any of those movies or all of those movies, I think you'll enjoy this one. When I watch movies like this, I pay attention to details such as the hair, as we talked about, the smooth movement of the characters, and the colors, as well as the textures and the dialogue that people are using. Is the dialogue too simple? Are they throwing in jokes in there? Are there any puns? Do they deal with deep issues? So sometimes the dialogue isn't great, but the animation itself is, which can be really unfortunate, or it's the other way around. I don't really see a lot of like great dialogue with poor animation. It's usually the first one. Terra Willy is available on Prime Video.
The company is growing fast. Now we have 250 employees and we will double inside in the next few years. We already made 5 movies and 3 TV series, and we're now developing 2 more movies and 2 more TV series, and this is just the beginning. So our contents are internationally oriented. It's amazing to see kids from all over the world, from Germany to China or even the US, watch our contents.
Thank you so much for being here. If you like these movie reviews, leave a comment and subscribe. Don't forget to turn on post notifications. I am currently recording a lot of stuff ahead of time so that I just can edit back to back to back. So as of today, I have 5 videos to edit. I've also made a little playlist that you can check out if you want to watch more movie reviews. It will be somewhere on the screen. These are much more laid back than my normal commentary videos. Less chaos. Thanks so much for watching, and you can follow me on Instagram at jasminebaker.artist, where I post homemade art memes as well as my own artwork. You can check that out. I do sell prints of my work. You can just contact me, and I do custom drawings for people. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye. What's wrong, dog? So dramatic.